in de veranda boven een. Hello. Hello everyone and welcome back to Ace Racing League Formula 3 Championship. Today we have the second round of this third season of Ace Racing League Formula 3 Championship. Today we are here at the Silverstone circuit, which was built back in 1948. Today we'll be using the international layout, which has a total length of 3.6 kilometers and a total of 9 turns. I won't be commentating alone tonight because I'm in company of Ewan and Larry. Welcome. Sadly, with me right now, so we're joining. Let's go over to some racing. First, have a 50-minute practice session and a 20-minute qualifying session, followed by 20 minutes, with the top 8 being reversed in the second race. Also, the top 8 drivers of the second race will get championship points. Like last race, we'll have a full 23 grid drivers competing for the victory tonight. All drivers and their teams can be seen on the screen now. Practice session, as you can see right now. Here we can see some cars leaving the pits right now. So we've still got 8 minutes and 45 seconds of practice left. I'm just trying to get the live telemetry with me here so I can follow as much as you people. At the moment, the fastest lap is done by Luca Becker with a 156.761. The most laps ran as well are done by Luca Becker with 5 laps. Closely behind him is Mika Hakimi in a 156.85. That's only a 200th of a second deficit between the two. Excuse me for the technical difficulties we are experiencing right now. Let's go back to commentating. The grid isn't the top 3, and that is a huge twist in the times. Let's see, who's that? That's John Bennett. John Bennett has done the fastest lap right now with a 156.709. Closely behind him is Luca Becker with that's 600ths of a second quicker. You might think that isn't much, but here we can see Luca Becker going for a hot lap here, and he goes through the right-hand turn at the straight called Abbey, through the farm curve, coming very hard to the hard-braking zone of Village, and then followed it up soonly with the Link. Mind you, that's not... and he's off! He's did a mistake. The back end slipped out, and he's done a mistake. He's probably going to respawn into the pits right now. Here we can see the Ace Racing League favourite Mika Hakimi doing his absolute best to get the fastest lap down here. Let's see where he's at. He's going through Abbey and coming close to Farm Curve, where he's coming along to Village. Very hard braking zone into the right-hander, very easy to get wrong. Followed up soonly with a left-hand turn and into the right-hander right here. You can go as wide as you saw right there, because the track limits are extended for this part. Coming onto the hanger straight, very hard onto the power. The slipstream effect of the car in front should be very dramatic here, as it is a long straight and the car behind can pick up easily like 10 or 15 kilometers an hour. That doesn't sound like much, but in a Formula 3 car, that is a lot. Coming onto Club Corner into the International Pit Straight. Very fast right-hander, and we're off for a hot lap. Here we go. Into the right-hander of Abbey he goes. So close to the floor, you could almost say it's flat out. Into the left-hander of Farm Curve. Very hard braking zone. It's more than 90 degrees. You could almost say it's 100 degrees right-hand turn. Into Village and then into Link. As we said, you can go as wide as you can over here, as long as you don't hit the grass. The slippery part of the curbs, which are used for the Grand Prix circuits, might lose some grip in the rain, but we're in the dry, so it's fine. You can see the slipstream effect taking part right here, as I said previously. Oh, and they go wide! They almost touched, but he backed out. Somebody backed out, and Mika actually tries to stay as close as possible because he really doesn't want his lap ruined. Tries to go through the outside, into the right-hander he goes. They're literally side by side, and the race hasn't even started yet. Very hard on foot to the floor. Is he probably going to go for a faster lap? We're going to see Mika Hakimi's time not improved. It's actually slowed down by over 1.5 seconds. That's what happened when the midfielder or the back marker hampered his lap. Here with Vladislav Muchliyenko. I didn't know he was back, but he's back. The inaugural season of Ace Racing League, its champion is back. Now let's see what he can do. He's second. He still hasn't lost it. Vladislav Muchliyenko is back, and that brings along the most terrible name I've ever tried to pronounce in this sport. But anyway, I like him. It's a good bloke. Into the right-hander he goes. Ooh, bit of understeer. Probably a too hard front suspension in there. Probably some tweaking still done. But hey, it's practice. We still got 3 minutes and 15 seconds left onto the hanger straight at full power. We can see that his sector was with a 0.35 seconds slower than before. But let's see what he can do in this sector. Into the right-hander as he millimetrically perfects his braking point. Into the left-hander he goes, and into the chicane before he goes on into the long right-hand turn. Very hard onto the power here. Half a second slower from John Bennett. And here we can see Vladislav Mysulenko trying to go for another faster lap. He's just going on it. Oh, and there's oversteer. That's the end of that lap. Probably lost like a few tenths there. I think those tyres just need some refreshing in there. You can see him trying to wobble the wheel, find where there's grip or no grip. Luca Becker just improved his lap time with a 56 seconds and 6.3. That's 0.07 of a second quicker than the previous provisional pole sitter of John Bennett. Wong Wei Xiong coming up now into the Beckett's corner. That's an interesting line. I haven't seen any drivers doing that line, but you know what? Who knows? At the moment, Wong Wei Xiong is in the 10th position with a 57 seconds and 233 tenths of a second. Anyway, I lost him. Oh, and he's gone off! He went on the power too early into the curves, and that made the back end step out. Still 1 minute left of practice. I can see the drivers trying to do their absolute best to improve all their settings for the race before park firmé becomes the rule. I want to know from Race Control if we are using are we using a stock setup, or are the drivers free to use their setup? We are using a fixed setup, as I've just heard. I'm trying to follow the timing screens here. I just saw one of the drivers apologize to the others through chat. 50 seconds left. Luca Becker is still in the provisional pole of this practice session. Oh my god, these drivers are already like racing each other, trying to go for the line. Get that lap time down, and here we go. Is he going to make it? He just makes it on to the second. And that moves Alexei Kaipanen into 12th place. That was practice. We'll be back with qualifying. Welcome back to qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Here we have Ross McIntyre, like the comedian from England himself, or Scotland or Wales, I don't know, maybe he's Irish, somewhere in those British Isles, or Ireland. We can see the drivers moving left and right, and that is because these cars want to get their temperatures, the temperatures of the tires, excuse me, terribly, upwards, because the hotter the tires are, the more grip they'll have, but they mustn't overdo it, because when it gets too hot, they'll disintegrate too quickly. Ross McIntyre off on the line, starting his qualifying lap. Side by side already, with someone that's gone ahead of him. Probably gave him a chance right there, or the driver in front is just quicker. Into the left-hander we go. I haven't seen qualifying like this since the Italian Grand Prix of 2019. Oh, and he's gone, but he magically catches it. The back end stepped out there and literally he caught it like a genius. Probably wanted to get some slipstream from a car in front. Who the hell came up with suck? From the car in front so he can have an advantage in his race, in his qualifying. Oh, here we go again. Probably the rear tires aren't hot enough and the back end just keeps on stepping out everywhere. Very hard onto the power now and puts down a 10th position with a 1:02. That's not quite well, as you could imagine, since we've done lap times of under a minute in a practice session. So probably something just went wrong there. Here we have Vladislav Michulienko going for his fastest lap as he comes out of Beckett. Very hard onto the power. Oh, a car in front loses control, but he literally tries to get any sort of slipstream he can as he jumps right behind it on the straight. Hard into the right-hander. Excuse me, my internet connection was terrible. Into the fast left and right chicane. Coming out of the last corner called Club Corner. And onto the power, probably going for a faster lap. He's in provisional pole probably, and he moves up into 6th place. Not usually where you'd see Vladislav. But he might try to do something different this lap because he was in the top 3 in previous session, but he might move up. Alexei Kaipanen, who was in the top 10 in previous session, is going for a hot lap right now. In the first sector, he puts down a 24 seconds and 8:34. The most laps done right now are by so many drivers, Jesus Christ. Excuse me, by Amir Hazak with a 4-lap on his session right now. Alexei Kaipanen right now here with us as he comes up into the Vale complex of chicane before he enters into Club Corner. Very hard onto the power right now. Is he probably going to improve his position? No, he actually is slower by half a second, but he is in the top 10. And he goes along for another faster lap. Probably we're going to see some improvement here. Here we can see Mixer Mortiferum, Mika Hakimi's teammate for this race today. Into the link and onwards to the hangar straight. And there's a huge accident, but oh my god, how he avoided that. By God knows how he just done that. You could see Mixer Mortiferum's teammate in the back there as he comes close to the end of the hangar straight into the fast right-hander of Stowe and then onwards into Vale, following up into the very quick left-hand chicane. You can see the drivers only shift down 3 gears from their top gear, haha, pun intended, and onto the right-hander as he goes full out, onwards to the finishing line. Probably going to improve his lap time. We're going to see it, and he does. He moves up into 4th place and pushes Stijn Prins into P5. Following Miklein Nagelvoort, A dude I've been calling Michelin Nagelvel for some reason for the entire last season. Very hard onto the brakes into the right-hander of Stowe, moving up into Vale. As usual, there's a car up front heating up its tires. I hope it's looking into its rear mirrors because he doesn't want to keep Michelin Nagelvoort in jeopardize his lap time. He's gone off, 4 wheels off the track, probably lost some traction from behind and tried to recapture it. But here we go, onto the hot lap of Michelin Nagelvoort. He's previously done a 57 seconds and 061. That pushes him into P11. But I think he's going to improve right now. 14 seconds into his lap time, into the fast left-hander of the Link. Onwards into Beckett's and very hard onto the power. Now, usually you would see the cars coming out of the Maggotts and Beckett's complex, but here we just fully enter the Beckett's corner. Luca Becker just went on to a faster lap of a 156.581. Now, very hard into the brake section into the club corner. You really want to, with precision, want to apply the throttle coming out of that corner because just a little too much and the rear tires just go everywhere. He appears to not be able to improve his lap time here, but we'll stick with him just to see what happens. And we don't. We're here with Amir Halafi. Where is he? He's in P9 at the moment. Previously, we'd see, what's his name again? Lost it. Anyway. Oh yeah, Alexei Kaiban. But here we are with Amir Halafi, and he is a half a second slower. You could know that Amir Halafi is a Malaysian driver because you can see the livery on the car has the Sepang circuit layout, which is a Malaysian, or maybe his teammate is Malaysian. I don't know. The number 11 car coming into the DRS section. Sadly, these cars don't have DRS because we have found out that these cars are actually providing more closer racing than the cars before. Stan Prince here with us, the runner-up of the inaugural season of Formula 3 at Ace Racing League. As Vladislav Muchenko has massive understeer and moves off. He's off. He went just fully onto the gravel. Into the club corner he comes. Excuse me for that. I have the hiccups for some reason. Very hard onto the power. Comes over the line. Is he probably going to improve his lap time? He moves up into P6. That's a beautiful lap done by Vladislav Muchenko. Why do I keep pronouncing that name? Jesus, I can just say Vladdy. He prefers to be called Vladdy anyway. Anyway, into the right-hander he comes. 14 seconds into his session. You can see the car twitching some places. Still, the setups done by Ace Racing League are done by professionals, and he just went off onto the grass. That's 4 wheels off the track, and his lap time won't be counted for, I think. I don't know, the game is a horrendous thing with the rules. Still not as bad as Gran Turismo. John Bennett, the provisional pole sitter, since we have 9 minutes and 53 seconds left of this session, is going on for a hot lap. Behind him, we could see one of the red cars from Amir Halafi or Wongwei Xiong. Is he probably going to improve that blistering lap time? Is he going to do it? No, he's almost half a second slower than before. But he's onto something, and I know it. John Bennett here, coming out of the hanger straight 0.05 of a second quicker. Into the right-hander, he literally throws that car in there and just hopes that it sticks. He's fully onto his last legs right now. Thankfully, the game does tell you that there's a faster car behind you and that you'll get a blue flag for that. A blue flag means that there's a faster car behind you and that I have to move over to let the faster car complete its lap time. Is he probably going to improve that lap time and make it difficult for the, He moves up! John Bennett moves up and makes it more difficult for Luca Becker to improve his lap time. Probably remove some fuel in the car. But my goodness, that was amazing. Steinprinz, our runner-up of the inaugural Ace Racing League Formula 3 Championship, probably gonna stick his nose in there and ruin it for the rest. And oh my goodness, no, that's a second off the pace. That is not good at all. There must be something up with Stein's steering wheel at home, or probably his internet connection, because we are not used to seeing Steinprinz in this condition. Into the Beckett's corner he comes, and he went off to the grass. That's 0.3 of a second slower in his first sector. This track only gives us 2 sectors, so there's no third sector. You can see the car is understeering massively. And oversteering as well as he comes into the club corner. Excuse me for my silence, as I had to attend some business first. Here we can see him probably gonna go. He just can't find the grip. Steinprinz just can't find the grip. Probably something in his tires or his fuel consumption. Luca Becker, who's the previous provisional pole sitter, with 6 seconds still of the session. There's a car that just flamingly went off. I know blue flag means that you have to move over, but you can exaggerate as well. Luca Becker just went hundreds of a tenth quicker. He's probably going to take that professional pole back of John Bennett, but it all comes down to the last sector right here as he comes into the left-hander there. And into the what's it called? Club corner complex. I'm just gonna call it right now. Into the last corner of the international pit straight. Probably gonna do it. Is it gonna improve his lap time? Is it gonna take it off? No, he lost it. He's 0.4 off the pace. He lost 0.05 of a second within that sector. Something went wrong. My internet connection isn't the top. Isn't at its best in the world at the moment. I have to admit, so I can't follow everything you're seeing. I'm going to attempt to improve. am back with you, hoping that my internet connection has improved. I think it has. Vladislav Muchalenko is still in P6. He can't find the grip of where he wants to improve. Right now, John Bennett is in pole, provisional pole at least, with a 56 seconds and 5 tenths of a second in there. Now, Luca Becker is 400ths of a, if you want to be pedantic and precise, he is 303 seconds behind. Test. Is this better? Now into the last section of these corners we go. Into the right-hander, full on the power here. Don't have to overdo it, otherwise the back end will just step out ever so slightly and you'll lose the back end. 3/10 of a second slower than the provisional pole sitter or his lap time itself. Yeah, it is. Stijnprint. Into Beckett he goes. He tries to throw the car in there, but he still loses the front end to massive oversteer. I think his front tires are still cold. Now he's already 2/10 of a second off the pace in his in this lap. We've still got 40 seconds left of the qualifying session. Into the club corner complex we go. Into the right-hander here. Very hard onto the power, into the pit straight. For us, it's the main straight. No, he's half a second off the pace here. But he's in P5, ahead of his rival, Vladislav Muchalenko. Luca Becker here with us, going for a hot lap right there, and he stays behind John Bennett. If there might be someone who's going to take it, no! John Bennett is on pole position here
Lift
at
Incorporated
Silverstone.
is a lifestyle brand driven by esports founded in 2018. Our mission is to lift esports to a higher level by offering the best esports products and services. We believe that a healthy lifestyle contributes to every aspect of the athlete. Lift represents the life of a successful esports player. We define our brand with esports merchandise, supplements and coaching. We rise by lifting you. Hop in the lift, do it different.
Welcome back here for the race at Ace Racing League. 30 seconds left before carnage breaks out. Well, I hope not, because turn 1 Abbey isn't that tight like in Monza or Monte Carlo. But anyway, we'll just have to wait before those lights just turn off. Probably can hear those cars revving their engines. Here we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights. They're off, and we are away. Here we can see Luca Becker into the, and we see a car behind staying there, probably just the race control in there, one of the dummy cars. John Bennett has taken the lead and stays ahead of his rival in qualifying, Luca Becker. Into the hard right-hander they go. We were getting some information through, but not. I don't see any cars overshooting yet into the grass trap right there, but he looks like he's moving away. But Mika Hakimi and Mixter Mortiferum have done a beautiful start. As here we can see Mika Hakimi and Vladimir Luchilienko battling for P2 for the podium spot, and right behind him is Stijn Prins. It's a battle for P2 at the moment. We can see a car spinning there in the background, but this battle is way more important than that. We have a yellow flag. Is there a yellow flag? I want to ask for race control. Not anymore. The yellow flag has been lifted, and we can see Vladislav Muchalenko ever so slightly almost making contact there with Mixer Mortiferum. Mika Hakimi has gone in front of Muchlienko, but Mortiferum is trying to defend from Stein Prince, who is right behind him. And here we can see 12th place runner Wang Weisheng with a train of cars ahead of him. And Alexei Kaipinen trying to stay in the top 10. Very hard onto the brakes. You can see those brakes glowing, but on the inside goes Connor Bell, but he retakes the position back from him as he goes into the inside of him on the Club Corner complex. At the front, we can see Mika Hakimi taking the fastest lap of the race right now. We are following one of the cars, that's Alexei Kaipinen, battling with Nikolai Narevort as he comes into the right-hander here at the village curve. Onwards to the link into Beckett, and probably here we're gonna see it, into the slipstream he comes. Probably gonna see some closer up racing right now, because this is going to be amazing. This was the pole sitter. No, that was the second to first pole sitter. Second pole sitter. Excuse me, terribly. Grid runner from the qualifying session, but he's moved all the way back to P6. Probably had a bad start. Roman Ratel in P14, battling along with Alexei Kaipinen, who is in front of him, but really wants to go onto the power here and move up closer to the rival in front of him. Probably even come into the top 8. It's a bit of a reverse grid race. There's a lot of action happening in front if we can move up to that. And here we're going to see it. If John Bennett can keep it together, remind you, he's been in the lead for a long time, but no. Here we're going to see it into the slipstream effect right now. We can't see any closing up. I think he's too far off and just taken away. You have to admit that John Bennett is extremely consistent in his braking. I do notice in his throttle response, Mika Hakimi and John Bennett are quite similar, but in his braking, he is in another level. We have some technical difficulties here. We are back with Mika Hakimi onwards from behind John Bennett, who's doing an absolutely scintillating performance here with us as they both go onto the hanger straight. Mixer Mortifera moving up close to Luca Becker. The second grid slot went to him, but he's moved back into P6, but probably has a problem in his car, probably had some contact with someone else. I think we are going to see some differences when the pit stops are going to happen into the club corner complex, as they both exit onwards towards the pits, the main straight. I wonder why Mixer isn't in his slipstream, because he could have some advantage in there and try to go for an overtaking maneuver, but he didn't. But he's going for it, and there it is. We're going to see some down on the inside goes Mixer Mortiferum. A beautiful performance, but Luca Becker keeps it together on the braking. I think we have found our Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc from this at Ace Racing League. Is Mixer Mortiferum and Luca Becker. Very hard onto the power where they both go, but we can see that Luca Becker is way more consistent in his braking, and as well, I could say, in his throttle response, unlike his Mika Hakimi, who is behind John Bennett, the race leader, which are quite similar in race pace except for the braking. But Luca Becker probably made a mistake, and Mixer tried to take full advantage of that, but it didn't go towards him. And it's Mika Hakimi trying to come up very close into the slipstream of John Bennett. Probably going to go for a move down the inside. There's 6 tenths of a second separate right now. The Malaysian driver following the Briton. I don't know if he's even British. He sounds British, but anyway. It's the colonies all over again, backwards and forwards. Into the club corner complex they go, onwards into the main straight. Very hard onto the power here, they both go. But Mika, remind you, has the slipstream, and he's got to do everything in his power to stay behind him. Into the right hander, they both go onto the follow through of farm curve. Follow throughs on the Grand Prix. So it's going to go down the inside, and he moves up too close, and he almost makes contact with the race leader. He tried to lunge down the inside, but it didn't go the Malaysian's way. It went to the Briton. It didn't happen. And he's gone off. He's gone onto the grass, and Mika Hakimi is very close up to him. He's 0.3 of a second behind him. He's closing up ever so slightly. Probably going to go down and move from the inside. And is he going to do it? Probably no. But he's moving up closer. We're going to see something probably happen on the next. Mika has done a beautiful performance of keeping his tyres together, but John Bennett probably had a more aggressive approach and has ruined his tyres in this instant. Hakimi is they're literally side by side almost. It's 0.2 of a second separate. And Hakimi is probably going to go down and move from the outside. It's too early, mate. It's too early. Probably going to go for the switcheroo in there. Down the inside he goes to take a wider line. But no, you're too early. Into the right hander they go of the Beckett's corner. He's into the slipstream. He's only 0.2, remember, away from him. John Bennett weaving all over the place to get out of his slipstream, but he knows he can't do anything about the laws of physics. And thank goodness that for himself that his car has the momentum to stay ahead of him. But I haven't seen this close racing since the dawn of time. We could probably have a car that just went off. We could see a battle in the back here. We're back here. 8. And he's gone wide onto the gravel trap there. Excuse me, there's no gravel trap. Off the track at the link. In the back here. Excuse me, here we go. See Mika Hakimi trying to move down the inside, and he's done. He's taking the race lead away from John Bennett. A beautiful move right there, right in the middle of my yawn. But John Bennett is probably going to think about going back in there. He knows that he's there. Mika is really concentrating on staying ahead of him right now. Both amazing driver from both drivers, but he had the little slipstream right there before he went onto the pit straight. Both into the right-hander, but Hakimi covers him off, stays ahead of him. I'm probably going to outbrake him here as well, so he can stay ahead at least. But mind you, we have another comer to this party. While the two are racing, Vladislav Mushrienko, the one-time world champion at Ace Racing Week, is right behind John Bennett, is probably going to think about going for a move for P2 and probably onwards to P1. Is he going to do a move down the braking? Are they both going to overbrake themselves and make him Hakimi go away? But he doesn't. He thinks conservatively, and he's gone through. Mushrienko has gone into P2 after starting from P6 somewhere. Stan Prince in P4, trying to go down and move down the inside of his teammate, and he's off. No, that isn't. That's Luca Becker. Luca Becker just went off. He's off the track, and he's moved all the way down to P6. All that hard work is gone. In front of him is Mixer Mortiferum. They're almost interlocking between the two, and he's probably going to go down the inside, has a bit more space over there, but Mortiferum stays ahead of him. Both go into the Beckett's corner, onwards to the hangar straight. But he has a slipstream. You can see the car improving on speed, and he tried to push him into some errors there, but John Bennett has moved back into the podium position. Becker here, back in P6, battling with the teammate of Mika Hakimi, as we saw previously. Onwards onto the slipstream effect here. This straight is almost over, both into the right-hander and almost into farm curve as they follow up to village. You could see the cars are so scintillatedly in sync of each other, trying to follow the racing line. And there's a car going wide there. And the driver himself, Luca Becker, just went wide and had a little bit of overspeed. Mixer Multiferum has gone into P5. No, excuse me, P4. The screen is a little bit of technical difficulties, but he's moved into P4. Beautifully done. And that is Amir Haddock. He just went off, probably had some contact with the other drivers, but he's moved all the way back. He was in the top 10, battling for a position there, as we just saw on our screens, but he's moved all the way back to P18. Here we can see an overtake done by Ayam Akim. Away from Stein Prince. He's moved into P5, probably started way down the grid, but he's done a scintillating start through the field. 7 minutes left in this section. And we can see a train of slipstream effects happening here. Stein Prince thinking of going down the inside, but he thinks conservatively and goes down the outside. Very progressive move there, but he has to remember that Akim is still there, and he's probably going to go down for a move down the inside. Akim can do nothing about it. He has to cover the inside off for Akim so he can stay ahead, and he's done it. Stein Prince moves into P5. And Akim is overtaken right now by another driver. Is that Luca Becker? They're side by side on the straights. It's probably going to go for a move down the inside. They're literally interlocking between each other. But Luca Becker moves up into P6. And Akim is in P7. Down the inside he goes, away from him, leaving him behind. But don't forget, probably he gave him the position there so he can move in his slipstream. They're literally still so close to each other. If we can go back to them, please. Here they are. Luca Becker staying ahead from Ayam Akim. They're still right behind. He is still right behind of the man he's just been overtaken by on the main straight. Both into the left and right complex of Club Corner. And he's so close in his slipstream. He only needs like 5 kilometers an hour to retake that position. He's moving ever so closely to him. Into the right hander, he covers him off. And Ayam Akim moves into P6. Beautifully done there. But here we go. We can see the switcheroo, and he has a little bit of overspeed. He lost a lot of traction there and some time. He lost a lot of speed in there. Both are going ever so slowly, and they make contact. He's making contact. Luca Becker crashes into Connor Bell, and it's mayhem at Beckett's. Alexei Kaipanen moves up into 6th place, which is where he needs to be to enter the reverse grid race. Galvinder Singh. No idea how to pronounce that name. I've gotten way too used to Vladislav Muchlienko. Anyway, in P19, as he just swapped some positions there with Janus Marius, as you can see on my screen here. Stein Prince moving backwards behind of Mixer Multiferum and doing everything in his power to stay in that reverse grid order to probably take a win, because he is leading the championship, mind you. He's got a little bit wide over there, and he's probably going to think about doing a move. Mixer Multiferum going very defensive for no reason, actually. He could have taken the line, but I think he didn't want him to give him the ever so slight slipstream. He's right behind him, probably going for a move at the end of this lap, but we know that Stein Prince is a very conservative driver, and he's still Mixer Mortiferum going defensive for no reason over there. We can see from the outside footage, and he's off! Stein Prince just moved off onto the grass, and that cost him a huge amount of time in his chase for 5th place. Alexei Kaipanen in the last place for the reverse grid race. He needs to stay there to start as pole sitter for the second race, but you have to remember he won't be rewarded any points. So he'll have to do everything in his power to go ahead. We can see a lot has changed because Connor Bell has moved from somewhere in the back markers to midfield, all the way into the top 8 for the reverse grid. We still got 2 minutes and 5 seconds left of this session. Alexei Kaipanen trying to do his best to keep up with Connor Bell there. You could hear the cars whizzing by as they come into Beckett's, excuse me. Javier Lai in P14 battling with, excuse me as I can fetch his name with me here, Mark Ruiz, or Ruiz, I don't know, as they both go over the main straight, moving ever so closely to him in his slipstream. Both going into Village right now. That's the hardest braking point on this track. I think. Yeah, it is. Oh, and he's gone off! That was a huge oversteering moment for Lai. And that gives some breathing space for Mark Ruiz, who is in front of him anyway. Luca Becker has just gone off, I see, because he's lost a lot of places right there. Ratel has not finished. Romain Ratel has gone out of the session here. Ryan McIntyre, as I think I remember his name. No, wait, hang on with me. Ross McIntyre. Got his name back. Ross McIntyre has moved all the way back into P2. We can see a last lap here, and that's Stein Prince into his 5th position. Mika Hakimi wins the first race at Silverstone. Vladislav Michulienko in P2, John Bennett P3, Mixer Mortiferum P4, Stein Prince P5, Ayam Echim P6, Connor Bell P7, Alexei Kaipanen in P8. Beautifully done to the top 8. In top 9 we have Nikolai Naraford, and top 10 makes Columba the Crucifier. Why do you have a name like that? Mika Hakimi right here celebrating his cool down lap after he's done a brilliant charge. Welcome back for the second race here at Ace Racing League. Still got another minute session on our hands. The top 8 have had a reverse grid for their finishing order. We still have another 23 cars on the grid. I know if you count now, it's 24, but still 25 seconds left before lights out. Six lights here. And we're off! Onwards for the second race at Ace Racing League. We could see some beautiful work done here by the front runner of Alexei Kaipanen, doing some beautiful work here, trying to stay in front of him. Connor Bell in P2, Ayama Kim in P3, Vladislav Muchalenko moves up into P4, ahead of Stein Prince. He's just overtaken Stein Prince right there. We're following him right now. Remind you, they are both teammates, but I don't think they have any team orders planted in themselves. We can see a changing in position to talk about in these dire seconds. My screen has frozen, please excuse me. I am back with you here. Excuse my terrible technical difficulties I'm having here right now. Connor Bell has just moved into the lead, and Alexei Kaipanen moves down the inside on it. And no, it's a whole switcheroo going along here. And as he's done a mistake there, but Stein Prince has moved up into P3. Behind him is Mika Hakimi. Next to him, we can see Alexei Kaipanen. But I think Stein Prince, as he's known for his dive bomb brakes, as you can see, beautifully done, Stein. Oh my god, I don't make contact! He's oversteered wide, and he's gone into him. Kaipanen probably thought about doing the inside line. Here we can see Morty Fearum overtaking Ayama Kim. He went over the line there, and he went down on the inside of him. He thought, I'll just go there, thank you very much. Wang Wei Xiong. A horrendous disaster to move all the way back into P20. We appear to have a latecomer on the track here with us. Connor Bell right here with us in P1 as he's being chased down by the entire grid. Mika Hakimi right here with us at P3, chasing down Alexei Kaipanen. I think these drivers are very much matched. They're just not very good qualifiers. They're brilliant racers. Romain Ratzel, who did not finish in the previous session, has just gone off again of the track and moved all the way back to P21. Mika Hakimi here, trying to battle for the higher podium position as he's moving close into the slipstream of Alexei Kaipanen. Ooh, and there's a car going off. Who is that? Never mind who that is, because the driver who we just switched to did a beautiful save right there. Some cars in front here, we could see they're going for a slipstream fight. It's Tone Lawyer, who's finished in the literally plumb last in the previous session, going down the inside. Beautiful lap there, a move there, but no, it didn't go the way of Tone, and he's moved all the way back to P16. excuse me, 17, excuse me, 18. Oh, that's terrible. That's a terrible joke. Alexei Kaipinen battling here with the drivers in front, and Stein Prince has just gone ahead of him, which is a dire thing to see. Mixer Mortiferum here with us in P6, who is very consistent in his race of his positions, if I may add. But Connor Bell still ahead with a 1.2 second margin ahead from the drivers behind. Has just done a move on Alexei Kaipinen, but he moved down on the outside of him, but it didn't work out for him. Down the inside he goes. Excuse me, down on back as he goes, but it did not work out for him at all. He moved on to the grass ever so slightly. Vladislav Michalienko moved back into P7. Mortiferum battling along with an old-time favourite of ours, Nikolai Nagelvoort, who's moved into P6. There's a driver on his left side, on his mirrors, into his gearbox, literally. Nikolai Nagelvoort being surrounded by drivers around him. But can he keep it together? Is he consistent in his move? And he moves up into P5 and P6. He's battling along with Mixer Mortiferum. Is he probably going to go down the inside of him and take the position from him? But no. But I think Nikolai Nagelvoort has done a move there so he can get into the slipstream and probably build some momentum there to overtake him. Muchalienko, MP7, battling along because he's right behind the Dutchman. Stein Prince being only 0.2 of a second behind the race leader. But as you can see, that beautiful train of carnage there going on. Not carnage, that's the improper word. I mean, racecrafts happening over there. Mika Hakimi has just put down the fastest lap of the race as well. I think we are going to see an overtake of the race lead now, and he's done it. Stein Prince has moved into the lead of the race, and Vladislav Muchalienko moves down the inside of Nikolai Nagelvoort and leaves him there. And that gives Muchalienko the opportunity to hunt down Mortiferum, who is in front of him. Time will tell us where this will lead. With the back markers here, Luca Becker, who's done absolutely brilliant in qualifying, but sadly not as well in the race itself, and he's just done a move. He moves up into P17. That's 2 moves in a row. Wang Wei Xiong moves ahead of Turn Loyal as well. Bit of understeer there and oversteer, then understeer, then oversteer. Connor Bell trying to do his absolute best to stay with Stein Prince, but we both know that Stein is a racecraft of itself. Meka Hakimi moving up closer to Connor Bell. He's in a slipstream. Connor tries to move away from him so he doesn't get any slipstream from him, but what that's done actually has made it easier for Meka Hakimi to not overtake him. That is a rookie mistake. Alexei Kaipinen here with him, right behind him of Connor Bell. Very hard onto the power itself indeed, as they both as they all four, the top four, going into the hangar straight, trying to gain a position on one or the other. 10 minutes and 35 seconds left of this session. Ayam Akim has just overtaken Nikolai Nagafort, but it's still back at it. Because here we can see the driver thinking about going on the inside. Klein Nagafort defends it, but here we can see the driver probably going for a move there. Hard on the power he goes, into a slipstream. We can see Nagafort trying to be defensive. Akim thinks about going down the outside to absolutely humiliate Nick, but he's not doing it, and he's probably going to go for it. Is he going to do Nico Rosberg and do a switcheroo in there? No, he wants to probably stay behind him before they both enter the hangar straight, so he can get the slipstream and do an easier pass to then build an advantage of the next lap, so that when he enters the next time the hangar straight, he's already too far ahead of him and we can't overtake him anymore. Nick Jordan with us here in P21, trying to take the position away of Mark Ruiz, as he's got a problem and he's going ever so slowly, and Jordan has taken the position away from him. He's in P20. Beautiful racing from the back here, but nevertheless, they are still beautiful to watch. Eight minutes and 50 seconds left of this session. Is it going to be mayhem as previous session? Stein Prince is only 1 second away from his second place huntsman, Mika Hakimi. John Bennett here in P13, probably thinking about going to move on Ross McIntyre. I think Akim has just gone off. It is! Ayam Akim has just gone off, and his teammate, Amir Haddock has, that's not his teammate, excuse me. Haddock has just been overtaken him. Kai Shang has, Sain has overtaken Ayam Akim after he's done his mistake. Probably had some contact in there, we don't know. And he's going down on the inside. Is he probably going to go for a double move? No, but that scintillating to watch as Ayam Akim defends that position away from Ross McIntyre. But it's beautifully done as McIntyre moves on to the back. And there is John Bennett. John Bennett, the previous the pole position holder, has just gone off into P15. What is going on? Calvin the Sign. And here we have Ayam Akim, probably trying to regain his honor of this race. He's going for it, and he's overtaken him, but can he keep it together? There's a car literally on his left, but it braked early and is behind him. Ayam Akim has moved up. 6 minutes and 5 seconds left of this session. It's getting closer. Both are going absolutely horrendously fast into that complex. but he's too far off in the slipstream and can't do a move on him yet. Probably going to see some changes in the future of this race. We don't know. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. Janus Marius in P13. Luca Becher has just put down the fastest lap of the race, as he did in qualifying itself. No, wait, no, that went to John Bennett. Excuse me, that I wasn't trying to be clever or anything. That was stupid. Vladislav Muchlienko trying to defend his position away from Mixer Mortiferum, who's in P5, and they're thinking of going down the outside of him. You don't want to do that with Muchlienko. He's very, very precious with his outside. You can take it down the inside, but don't need to humiliate him and go down the outside. Mixer Mortiferum trying to do his absolute best to stay with the Estonian, but he moves away. Mika Hakimi moving closer to the race leader. 3 minutes and 52 seconds left of this session. Oh, I can't wait for this end because I'm very hungry and I want to see who will win it, because you never know what will happen in a race. There are always more possible outcomes for a race than there are electrons in the universe. A number close to like 10 to the power of 500 for every possibility there is by any action. Hakimi trying to do his absolute brilliant best to gain those little few seconds in those dire last few minutes. 3 minutes and 10 seconds left of this session as we head on down onto the hangar straight, moving ever so closely. He's in his slipstream, and I think he's just building some momentum ever so slightly to get close to the race leader. 8 tenths. We are 8 tenths, and he's gone off. He's went over the gravel trap. But we can see that Stein Prince is coming closer, lap by lap. But you'll have to do a lot more from that just to take the lead from him. Very hard onto the brakes into the right-hander. They go. There's a car gone off. That is one of the back markers, because it's not been affected by its positions yet. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left of this session. Stein Prince is moving ever so slightly closer. I think Hakimi has to do something about it right now to take the lead away from Stein Prince. Bit of oversteer there. He's already lost 0.3 of a second in his chase onwards to Stein Prince, sadly. Vladislav Muchlienko right behind Mixer Mortiferum. He's in a slipstream. Think about going down the outside, but Mortiferum moves ahead of him. Side by side they go into the village. Hard into the left-hander of Link and onwards into Beckett. He's in his exhaust fumes. You could see that. He had a little bit of oversteer, but he still manages to stay into the slipstream of Mortiferum. We can see the back marker moving away very professionally, thinking about going down the inside. He's going to go for it. Is he going to take P4 away from him? No. Probably a brilliant braking maneuver onto the outside of him. Side by side, you could fit a cigarette paper between them. And he's done it. He's overtaken Mixer Mortiferum. Still a bit of fighting happening over there between Chlienko and Montefiore. Interlocking between the two. He pushed him a bit, they made contact, but Montefiore moves back into P4. And then it's back to Muchlienko. And then it's back to Montefiore. And then it's back to Muchlienko. And there's another incomer there. That is Alexei Kaipanen, I think. But Montefiore stays ahead of him. We are still in the last 10 seconds of this race. Alexei Kaipanen. And here we are with the race leader with us. In first position in the club corner complex he goes to finally and brilliantly win the Silverstone Ace Racing League Formula 3 race. Behind him comes in second place Mika Hakimi. Conor Bell, he's slowed down and he's probably taken a position. No, Alexei Kaipanen moved up in P4. Muchlienko in P5, Montefiore in P6. What did we miss? He's overtaken the both of them. Javier Lai, brilliantly done in P7. Nikolai Nagavoord in P8. Ayam Echim in P9. And Ross McIntyre in P10. That completes the top 10. John Bennett, who started in pole position, has dropped back into P11. The race win has gone to Stijn Prince. The podium consists of Hakimi and Conor Bell, the Australian. Beautifully done. My hats off to you all. Thank you very much for joining us here at Racing League. Again, we had a scintillating race for you. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I did. And I have to stop right now because my stomach is exploding from the hunger. Have a lovely weekend and we'll see you next time.